This video will explain some of the HearFormPRO benefits of using FileMaker Go 17 with an iPad or an iPhone. I'll start by showing you how easy it is to take and transfer images from your iPhone or iPad to HearForm. Let's start on the home screen and click the Images button on the right, and then the tab called Write Devices. Then in the lower right, I'll click on the camera icon, which automatically turns the camera on my iPad. I'll reposition the hearing aid so it looks appropriate. I want to show evidence of how that device was presented to us for a repair. Then I'll click the white button on the right, and just that easy, it transfers it automatically to the Images section within HearForm. And there it is. Let's put a face with a name. From the HearForm home screen, click the camera icon, which turns the camera on automatically on your iPad. We'll change it to a portrait orientation and zoom in a little bit. Then click the white button on the right middle. Wait a moment while it transfers the image to the HearForm server, which may take 30 to 60 seconds depending on your internet and Wi-Fi speed. Once you've done that, it stores a copy of the image in the upper left-hand corner. Just that easy. Let's start out by dictating a chart note. This is how my voice sounds when I speak into the microphone using my iPad or iPhone, period. It is significantly easier than actually typing the information, period. Siri does a very good job, but occasionally you will have to correct some errors, period. Overall, it is a real time saver. Now let's go ahead and save that note by clicking Save and Close. And there I have my note on the home screen, just as I dictated it. It's very easy to capture signatures with your iPhone or the iPad. From the HearForm home screen, click the Notices button, and the patient can use the iPad to preview their HIPAA privacy notice, scrolling up and down. We'll click Close here to close that. The patient can also receive a printed document or an email. In this case, I can add an additional email address if desired, but I won't do that. In fact, I'll just cancel that and delete the draft, but you get the idea. The HIPAA privacy receipt can be signed very easily. You can click the exclamation point to show that receipt, or click the X, and I'll put an embarrassing signature on here, but you again get the idea that it's very easy to sign right on the iPad screen with the Apple Pencil or your fingertip. Over here I can preview the advanced beneficiary notice, and this is a fully interactive form here that you can check with your Apple Pencil and put in other information in some of the other fields, and then the patient can sign by just checking the white box or previewing some of those options first and entering that information as desired. So I can then have the patient sign the document. It's automatically dated. Let's put another signature here. Again, pretty sloppy for this, but let's say I wanted to delete that. I'd click the pencil and person icon to the right, which deletes that and lets you put that back in again as desired. We'll accept that. And now you can see that that information has been stored in the system, and it changes the color of the notices icon back on the home screen. I can again send that as an email very easily, and we may need to see that we have evidence that we've actually sent that. If we forgot, we can also look under the area here showing the history for that particular patient of all the documents we've sent. And that's how easy it is to send those documents. HearFormPRO lets you use your iPad as an intake form. On the home screen, look in the lower left for something that says iPad Patient Intake. And there you'll be taken to an area where you can create a new patient record, and using a Bluetooth keyboard or the keyboard that's on the iPad itself, you can enter that patient information as I'm doing here. Once you've entered the patient name and date of birth, perhaps a gender, medical record number, you can then click the button that says Next Section. That will take you to an area where you can enter the street address. Entering the zip code will automatically add the city and state, and then click the Next Section button in the lower right. Enter the primary telephone number. By default, the home phone type will come up, but you can change that as needed, and then add a secondary phone and even a third phone if desired. That may be a cell phone or a work phone, etc., but you can change that as needed. Then click the Next button again. Enter a primary insurance from the drop-down list on the right, and then we'll go over to the next screen where I can enter a policy number, or I could have entered a secondary insurance as well, and perhaps a third insurance. So I can enter the policy number for the first insurance company and the second, and that information is going to transfer to other parts of HearForm automatically. Perhaps enter a group number for the primary and secondary. I'm just entering random information here, of course, and to the next section where you'll enter the physician name that comes from a physician list. I can enter a secondary and again a third physician if desired. That's going to help later if I send a physician report. Entering emergency contact information. None of this is mandatory, but it might be helpful. And again, entering it here will actually mark a little box on the home screen in black and white so that you'll see that an emergency contact has been entered. We'll enter the relationship and perhaps a phone number for that emergency contact. Next section, we'll enter a primary email address, again carried forward to the home screen. A little comment to the patient right below that, and finally they can read the comments, check the box, and then sign with an Apple Pencil or their fingertip. Accept that if desired, or clear and start over. And then the registration form is complete. They would hand that iPad back to a staff member, and you'll click the button to go back to the home screen, and that information is all right there waiting for you. As you can see, that information is transferred from the iPad itself. We are very excited about HearFormPRO's integration with the iPad and the iPhone, allowing you to take and store photographs, display videos from the HearFlix library, capture signatures, enter dictation, and use the iPad intake form and a number of other forms. We hope you really enjoy those features.